Hi, welcome to the Metal Detecting Show, episode number 23. My name is Kieran and I've been detecting for nearly 30 years. This week I interviewed Leon Fonsale, who you may be familiar with from ZARRPS Metal Detecting South Africa channel on YouTube. We discuss his love for the Boer War and what it's like to metal detect in South Africa, plus much more. So let's get on with the show. Hey, before we start, I want to thank you for listening to the show. If you want to give me feedback or interact with the show, please reach out to me on Twitter at DetectingThe or Instagram at the Metal Detecting Podcast, or if you want to pop me an email to Kieran at themetaldetectingshow.com. If you like this content, please don't hesitate to tell your friends and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So this week we have Leon Van Ziel, I hope I'm saying that right, otherwise known as Leon from ZARRPS Metal Detecting South Africa channel on YouTube. How are you doing, Leon?
Yeah, I'm great, man. Yeah, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Did I get the name right?
Yeah. It's Leon Van Sale.
Van
So
Zyl, oh, Van
yeah, so
Zyl, yeah,
the
okay.
the Z is pronounced with an S. So that's Dutch. Close enough. Close enough.
Close enough, cool. So before we start, a couple of quick questions. What the hell does ZARRPS mean? I think I know, but for the listeners, what does ZARRPS and lacquered mean?
Yeah. So lacquer, as in Lekker. Uh,
Yeah.
so lacquer is a local term, like a slang for awesome, nice. So when you go, oh man, that was lekker, man, lekker brew. It's like awesome, man, awesome brew. So it's just a
Mm.
little. It's Afrikaans, so that's my native language, Afrikaans, which is a
Mm.
form of Dutch. Um, and lekker just means nice. So it's like a kind of a slang, for lekker brew. Nice one.
And what about ZARRPS?
So Zarp was so during the Boer War. So the guys that check out our channel and have a look at what we do, we go out relic hunting and we look for Boer War related relics. And during the Boer War, the South African police, if you want to call it that, they were called ZARRPS, as in Zuid-Afrikaanse Republic Police. So instead of using that, I actually said ZAR, which is ZAR, so Zuid-Afrikaanse Republic
Mm-hmm.
Relic Protectors. So it's the double R. So I just called ourselves
Oh,
ZARPS as a little, like a catch on the original Boer War, ZARPS police.
yeah, I kind of suspected it was that, but yeah, in my little bit of research I did beforehand. Okay, we are a predominantly a metal detecting podcast, but what else do you do? You know, you don't just metal detect. There's more to Leon than just metal detecting.
Yeah, of
But what
course,
what
hey.
else do you do?
So, well, during the day, I'm a dad of two little kids. They drive me mad, but we love them. And yeah, I've got a little boy. He's 4, and I've got my daughter who's 9. And so full time dad, man, full time dad. And I work during the day. So I'm your everyday person, yeah. Um, Working class, I guess. And we go out metal detecting over weekends, and just to break away from the normal stresses of daily life, trying to survive, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other hobbies or anything like that, or is it just metal detecting and content creation?
Well, yeah, I'm actually a musician as well. So every now and again, I like to jump behind the guitar and play a few tunes and just kind of relax. I'm a real typical blues man, you know. And so yeah. And in terms of some hobbies, that's what I like. Get behind my music and metal detecting and try and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's the key, really, isn't it?
Yeah, of
With two
course.
kids, stay out of trouble. Before we forget, it's a great opportunity now for you to plug all your social media. Don't forget your shout outs. You wouldn't want to forget anybody. Plug
Yeah,
away.
for sure. Yeah, so you guys can obviously find us on YouTube. We have a channel there, which is Zarps Metal Detecting SA. So Zarps, which is ZARRPS. And you can find us on Twitter at Zarps, on Instagram, which is at Zarps underscore relics underscore protectors. And yeah, we've also got a page on DN, which is Detector Network, which is an awesome platform for metal detectorists and treasure hunters. And yeah, same with Facebook, at Zarps Metal Detecting SA.
Perfect. Is social media a big part of the hobby for you?
I guess it definitely helps, I guess all of us that are content creators and we want to try and get our content out there, we share on platforms such as Facebook and now Detector Network, which has helped really, really well. That's it's really been a place where I've been able to direct a lot of traffic to my channel, which has been awesome. So yeah, it definitely has its place. Yeah, I think it would have
Perfect.
made it a bit difficult.
Yeah, you can definitely see it creeping into metal detecting as a whole. You've got the guys who are going around just taking pictures as they're hunting, and sometimes they don't even upload it. It's just for their own sort of enjoyment. It's definitely an aspect that's creeping into the hobby. So, how did you get into metal detecting?
Yeah, that's a funny one. I mean, a couple of years ago, probably 5, 6 or more years ago, my wife and I always joked around and we said, you know what, we should actually one day buy a metal detector and just go, see if we can
Yeah,
get to the beach. And I actually think we were at a beach and we saw someone and we said, man, it'll be really cool to do that. And yeah, I think it was our Christmas bonus, and we got a few extra bob, and we said, man, let's just get a detector, and we got a detector each. I think we bought a MindLab Xterra 505, which was awesome. And that was our first
great,
detectors. Yeah,
a
and the
great
both of
first
us had
detector.
a,
Yeah,
for sure, both of us got a detector and we just went out, and we dug like everybody, thousands of bottle caps and junk. And slowly but surely, I got into the relic hunting, and yeah, that's uh, that's where we are.
and does your wife still detect?
No, no, not every now and again she would go out with me, but I think the hard digging and hard ground and too many bottle caps just killed it for her, I guess.
Yeah,
But she still gets out every now and again with me, and it's a fun thing to do with the kids. They really enjoy it if you psych them up. Well, the first 10 minutes, I guess, is
yeah.
always, they up for digging and finding treasure, and then they're over it.
Yeah, they expect to find one-eyed Willie's treasure straight away, and the
Doesn't
reality
happen.
of 100 bottle tops doesn't
Yeah.
ring true to them. You post a lot of group digs on your channel. Well, you've three or four of them, anyways. What's the scene like in South Africa?
Yeah, I think it's really grown over the years. It's always been really popular for the beach hunters. I think more so than the guys really hunting. But yeah, I mean it's doing really well. So now that you say that about the group hunt, there's a group hunt that we have in South Africa called the annual hunt, which is basically once a year. Every province in South Africa basically gets together, and there's one person that gets about anything between 15 to 25 or 30 people. And, we go out and we have a massive weekend group hunt. And yeah, that's the turnout is normally really, really good. So yeah, it's working. I guess a lot of people have got a lot more interest, and it seems to be going well.
Is the law similar to the UK, or is it that the law is in its own right unique in South Africa?
Yeah, I think touch wood for now. Metal detecting in South Africa is a bit of a gray area. So we do have laws regarding heritage sites. So we do have a bunch of heritage sites where you can't dig. But unfortunately, there are people that do take advantage and they do go and dig on these sites because, some of them aren't cordoned off or actually looked after, which is a pity. And people do go and they vandalize and they do dig in those areas. So that is kind of taboo, so to speak. But other than that, it's basically free for all. I'm sure there are laws
Well,
that say that if you dig something or you find something of significant value, you need to go and report it. But that doesn't get followed through. And like I say, it's a bit of a gray area. So we don't have permits. You can't find or request a permit for metal detecting. So yeah, again, I haven't been stopped by cops or asked, not to dig here or this is
okay.
illegal or anything like that. I think that helps too.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that sounds like heaven to me. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're a very young
with
country, so I think
yeah,
that's probably why. I mean, we only have about 300 odd years of history, where the guys in the UK are finding Romans of 2,000 years old coins. We pass out when we find something 100 years old. So that
yeah,
I think that's the difference.
It seems quite similar to the US in that South Africa's metallurgical history started in what, the 1490s.
Yeah.
So, what period are you looking for in general? I see a lot of Boer War hunts, but I assume you're also looking for early Portuguese, Dutch artifacts.
Yeah, yeah. So again, predominantly we go out and we look for Boer War. So where I am, our history is even younger. So we have in my area, I'm in a place called Gauteng, um, and during the just before the Boer War, about 50 years before the Boer War, we had what we called voortrekkers, which is Dutch for basically geez, how do I explain this? Basically, Dutch descendants that moved up from the Cape up to this area that was later called the Transvaal, and they only moved in around about 18, I think 37 there about ish. Um, so in this area, that's what we look for. Very little during that period, but yeah, around 1880s, we find a lot of artifacts for the First Boer War, and then right up to, yeah, I guess we target 1940s, 1950s. That's what we look for. Yeah, if you're down about in the Cape, which is about 600, no, I'm lying, about 1,200 kilometers away from me, in the Cape. There you can find a lot more artifacts that are from the early 1700s, but that's about it. I mean, yeah, so not that old.
Now, so, what type of distances are you traveling? My impression from the videos and what I've seen is that for me, South Africa is a whole other planet. Are you traveling like 100, 200 kilometers to get to a site, or is this just on your doorstep?
No, it's pretty much on my doorstep. Yeah, I'm lucky enough that I'm in an area that has a lot of Boer War activity, which is about 30, 40 kilometers away from me, which isn't far at all. It's about a half an hour's drive. And yeah, and the place that we frequent quite often, Carl and I, and Thijs, we the three musketeers of metal detecting, I guess. Yeah, that area held about 50,000 British soldiers during the war. So there's a lot of activity there, and we frequent that area. So we're lucky in that sense, where,
Wow.
again, guys that are in the Cape, they don't get to experience those type of relics, so they stick to the beaches.
Well, that's, I mean, one, you're very lucky. Does that make it actually easy to get permissions? The fact that it's so local that you can establish a relationship with the landowners very easily. If you're a local chap, I imagine it's quite easy to get permissions then.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely makes it easier. So yeah, we build a nice relationship with the farmers. Where we go and ask permission. But again, the areas that we go to, I think about 60-70% of those areas are unfenced, free for all. It's just about
Wow.
doing the research and knowing what you're looking for. And then we just go in and we have a 4x4 and we go and look for old foundations and again, old maps and whatever. And we're lucky enough that that area specific is mostly open. And there's a couple of farmers that we go into and we try and make contact and we ask permission, and whatever we find, like the same with you guys, we give them the artifacts and they really enjoy that, and again, we're lucky enough that most of these farmers actually have an interest in the Boer War themselves, and that makes it easier. So yeah.
It's so in the main, really, it's relic hunting that you guys are doing almost in an extreme environment. You're trucking out to a spot looking for early signs or pottery or ash in the ground. Is there other types of metal detecting going on in South Africa, like gold hunting, meteorite hunting? You mentioned beaches. Now, I imagine beaches are quite lucrative down the Cape, but
Yeah.
gold hunting or meteorites?
Yeah. So there's a couple of guys that have found meteorites. Yeah, by us, it's not a big thing. There are a few guys that do go gold hunting, and it's the same type of guys that go and look. What do you call it? They've got a few sluices and they go gold panning as well. And those are the typical guys that would go out with, like a gold monster or a GPX type of
Sure.
machine and go look for some nuggets and whatever. It's not massive, but they are there. So, and then you get the normal park hunters, the guys that go out and frequent some old parks looking for some coins and jewelry and that
Mm.
type of thing. I call them the beach hunters, without the
Yeah,
beach. That's basically what
yeah,
they do.
yeah, yeah. Coin shooting.
But where I am, I think, yeah, most of the guys are looking for relics like we are, you know.
Quick history test. You've mentioned
Oh
the
God.
Boer War a few times. Give the listeners a quick history test. What is the Boer War, and give us a history lesson on it.
Yeah, so the Boer War basically were farmers down in the Cape, and the British came over, and well, this is the dumbed down version. The Boers didn't like that, so they said, well, to hell with you guys, we are moving, or in Dutch, tracking, and that's how the foot trackers basically became. So these guys tracked up or moved up around through KZN. And some of them stayed there, and some of them moved up to what was then known as the Transvaal and the Orange Free State. And the Transvaal and the Orange Free State then basically became two independent states. And so they were stuck around there for about 40, 50 years until the British found out that they had found gold on a reef in those two states. And they decided, well, we want a piece of that. So, the long story short is in 1880 was the start of the First Boer War. Which wasn't successful for the British, and they remained independent states. And then again in 1899 was the start of the Second Boer War, which lasted 3 years. And for some of the guys in the UK, would know or maybe not know, but was referred to as the most humiliating war that the British have or had ever fought.
Yeah.
Where they said that it would last 6 months, it ended to be 3 years. And what's interesting about that is, these were plain Jane farmers. These guys weren't soldiers or anything. And what made the Boer War, the Second Boer War, so tedious and so long is they had a tactic where they reverted to guerrilla warfare. And that war ended basically in 1902. The Boers lost. That's basically the long and the short. Yeah.
Guerrilla warfare, something the Irish we're very familiar with. So a lot of people have the impression that South Africa is very much stricken with crime. And in one of your videos, you mentioned getting creeped out that there may be zammers about, or illegal miners. Am I saying that right, zammers?
Yeah, Zamas, yeah.
Zamas, sorry. Is this a
Yeah.
Is this a correct perception? Is South Africa a dangerous place?
Well, yes. I think it is. I think it is. We do have a lot of crime. I think it's sad that I kind of pause and want to think about it. And I think us as South Africans have become so complacent with daily life and daily crime, which is sad because it's such a beautiful country and we've got such a rich history and so many cultures going for us. And yes, so it is dangerous. We do. It's not one of those places where you just get out of your car and you get hijacked, I guess. But it's subjective. I think if compared to maybe to the UK or to Ireland or wherever, it's probably extreme. The way we live with our fences and our electric fences and our electric gates and our crime and whatever. But for the most part, it's okay. We are vigilant when we go out. We make sure that when we do spot zamas, so again, the guys that don't know, we refer to them as zamas, which are illegal miners. They go into old mine shafts and they try and pan some gold, and they do find gold. They find a lot of gold, these guys. So it's a very lucrative, unfortunate business, but these guys are quite dangerous. So when we do see them, we try and stay away, especially because we're walking with metal detectors. So we don't want them to assume that we are walking around trying to find gold nuggets,
Red rag,
and that might just exactly. So we try and stay away. Some of them are actually quite friendly. A lot of my bottles, are bought from these zamas where they go out to these mines, and I go to them and I say, listen, have you guys got bottles? Have you found any old bottles or whatever? And some of them do, and then I buy them from them. And they are quite friendly, but again, some of them they've become almost gang-like in some areas, and we just try to stay away, so we don't go poking the bear.
Yeah, better to be safe than sorry. Okay, changing it up a little bit. So tell us, why you got into YouTube?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I think Kyle and I and Tace, actually Tace and I, we've been digging together. You guys haven't seen Tace for a while. He's been really sick, but he's getting there. But Tace and I actually went out hunting for the last couple of years, and we would find amazing relics and amazing finds and coins, and people would say, "Man, where are you guys?" And how did you find this? What is this? And I just kind of got the feeling that people want to kind of see where we are and what we find and how we find it and that type of thing. And more people wanted to come out with us. So I just decided one day, let me record some of my finds, and I guess that was the start of it, And I just started posting some very mediocre videos, and people reacted well to them. And I just decided to kind of not be that mediocre and post a few better videos,
Yeah,
So yeah.
your production value is quite high. You put a lot of work into your content. Like, for example, the quadcopter pullout in the intro. Is that polish intentional, or is it just the way you are?
um, I think that's very much the way I am. I like to. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I go, man, this guy's video is incredible, and then I watch my video and I go, oh my lord,
How
this
can I
looks
do better?
horrible.
Yeah.
How can I do better? And I just have that attitude where I kind of go, man, why is my video so shaky? How's his, not so shaky? And you kind of figure out, well, maybe I should get a GoPro, maybe I should do this, and then you invest in some editing software. And um, yeah, I think just kind of going, when you post a video and someone says, wow, this was such an amazing video. Yeah, you get such a nice feeling, and you kind of go, shite, that was now the benchmark. I need to, I can't be crappier than that video. I need to now step it up. And I think that's kind of my motivation with every video. I kind of go, man, I have to step it up. And I look at other content creators on how do they do their B-roll? How can I better my B-roll? And, what music do I add to it? How do I fix my transitions? And yeah, so on and so forth. And I just push myself to make sure that I get the same or better reaction on every video, I guess.
It's an ever increasing expectation you have for yourself that, oh shit, I messed that transition up. Next time I won't do that. And you end up getting obsessed by the littlest things. And it's almost that you get fine tuned to certain things that you had
Yeah.
never seen before. If you go back and look at your first video, or me with my very first podcast, I go, God Almighty, I'm slowly
I need
getting
to keep
better.
that to private.
Yeah. So what's the plan for the
Yeah, that's
channel?
true. Yeah. Well, we just want to keep on pumping out more videos, So we're changing it up. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a little bit different videos. So we've just picked up. So we're going into this like a challenge type of videos. We're going to make some challenge videos where Carl and I will be using the same detector, and just going out and see, who basic challenge, see who can find the oldest coin, who can find a piece of jewelry, who can find something old, something used, something whatever,
Yeah.
and build up some challenge videos just to create a little bit of a different feel than the the normal. So even though the guys enjoy the relic hunting and they like where we are, I don't want to become boring. So yeah, in the next couple of weeks, we're definitely going to mix it up a bit, do a few different videos, maybe some old park hunts, and yeah, so that's quite exciting.
Any plans for a live stream again, or will that be a regular thing?
Yeah, 100%. We actually doing a live stream this Friday, um, which is at 7 p.m. So I don't know when this podcast is going to go out, but it's
It'll
probably been already.
it'll be 9 p.m. this Friday, so 9 p.m. your time. So once you come off the live stream, that's when you're going up.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, well, the guys will then have known about the live stream that's now passed. But yeah, so we're gonna try and pump out some live streams once a week, or try to do that. So Kyle will be joining me with this Friday's live stream. But even if the guys listen to this podcast, I mean, they can go back and go have a look at that live stream. It won't be live anymore, but they can go and have a look. And yeah, we're gonna talk about some really cool things, just a general chat. And we are going to be using some XP detectors. in the next couple of videos as well. So Kyle will be using the ORX machine, and I'll be using the XP Deus, and we're going to do a couple of shootouts and yeah, just answer some questions, with guys that aren't familiar with South Africa and what we do and what we find. So that's going to be fun.
So yeah, you talked about the XP. I see you were originally using the Amphibio, but switched to the XPDS. I know nothing about the Amphibio or the XPDS. You clearly love the
Mm-hmm.
XP. But is there any discerning difference between the Deus and the Amphibio? And what drove the change away from the Amphibio?
Yeah, good question. I still love the Amphibio. Little disclosure, I think it is a brilliant, brilliant machine. Actually, I think it's a next level machine. So guys that, I mean, you get two types of people. You get the guy that just wants to switch on his machine, put onto a specific setting and just, beep away. And if he hears a high tone, he digs regardless. And that type of person will dig 50 bottle caps and find 2 coins and, have an awesome time.
Yeah.
Where I'm the type of person that I really like to get into the complexities of machines. And the Amphibio does exactly that. It's such a powerful machine. You can go into the settings and really understand what the tones are telling you. And I like to, I refer to this a lot on my channel, to dig quality targets. So where guys are digging 100 holes, I might be digging 30 holes. And, I would have that 80-20 ratio of 80% of my targets are just really good targets. And that's what I enjoy, and the Amphibio does that. The same with the XP, man. I am, like you say, I'm really enjoying the XP DAS. Also, such an awesome machine. And it has its pros and cons. Some guys would get annoyed by the fact that you have to charge the coil, the controller, the headphones, where with a normal machine, you plug it in and that's it. But so yes, that's a bit annoying, but I enjoy the Deus. It is super light for where we go up mountains and in between rocks and walking your ass off. It's such a light machine. I mean, it just weighs nothing. And most of the time I set it up with this minimalist setup where I don't have the controller on and I just walk around with the shaft, the coil, and my headphones, and it just works brilliantly. That machine just tells you exactly what you want to know.
That's
It's a
amazing.
great machine.
So how many kilometers would you cover on a day? I mean, you just talked about trekking light. I know you love your backpacks. You always have a sort of a shot with your backpack, or it's always there somewhere. I don't know if you know that or that's intentional, but you're trekking and weight is a huge thing in that heat and covering those kilometers.
Yeah.
So are you covering a lot of kilometers in a trek?
Yeah, we do. Geez, I can't really say how far, but I think the other day Carl was saying to me, because I mean, we were knackered, man,
Yeah,
completely knackered, and with combined with the heat and you walking up and down and digging as well, especially in the hard ground, you kind of just think that's what it is. And I think he said to me, Leon, we just walked 14 kilometers. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. Now you take 14 kilometers up and down in between rocks and digging. Oh man, that's mental. So you can just
yeah,
imagine.
that's real.
And yeah, I think our winter temperatures are anything between 21 and 26 degrees. So
Wow,
it's rough.
that's our summer in Ireland.
Exactly. So our summers go right up to the 40s. So it's mental.
So what is in your backpack if you're trekking? Anything unusual in there that some of us might not be aware of, or could do with knowing?
Um, Well, there's a few things that we keep in our backpacks, Carl and myself, that makes life easier. So the usual stuff, obviously, we have our diggers and I have a little pickaxe in there just for some of the harder ground. Sometimes you just can't get your spade in and you just go with a little pickaxe to try and, get in between the rocks and so on. So that helps. And then, oh man, let me think about something that's unusual. I mean, on my little finds pouch, I keep a little flashlight and I keep a knife, and that helps. So the flashlight for coins and that type of thing really helps. And I keep a little loop in my backpack as well. So if we find something and we want to take a closer look, I grab that. But yeah, things that we keep, especially for the sun. So we have what do you call it? Sunscreen. We have some wet wipes just to wipe down the face and ears with the
Yeah,
dust and whatever. And we have some headache tablets. We have some heartburn tablets. God, yeah. So we try and keep a little boo boo kit. I mean, I keep a little boo boo kit in my backpack, and yeah,
That's great.
just to help, you know.
A boo boo kit, is that what you call it?
Yeah, I call it a boo boo kit. So you fall down, nick yourself, cut yourself, whatever.
I think every listener of the podcast now should call the first aid kit now the boo boo kit.
I'll brand that. I'll brand that. Keep that as part of my merch.
I'm just registering the domain there now with one hand while I'm talking.
BooBooKit.com.
Boo boo kit.
Damn.
So bucket listers, you've got a few on video, but what's on the bucket list? What have you and what have you left to find?
Yeah, so some bucket listers. There was a certain area. This was a recent video that we actually did, which that was amazing find. I've been doing a lot of research in this area about the Royal Dublin Fusiliers, and I knew that they were in that area, and I've just said that I have to find something just to confirm it. So. Even though you read about it in books and there's camps on maps, I just needed to find something to just say, yes, they were here and I found something. And I did. I found a little cufflink button from the Royal Dublin Fusiliers, and that blew my mind. That's probably the bucket list find for this year for me. It's just because it has that something special that I've been looking for years. Something also that I enjoyed finding was a silver sweetheart brooch that I found probably about a month or two ago. That was really nice, and I found a nice super old gold watch, just the headpiece, which was also really nice. And I think bucket listers to come. I'm not in the gold club yet, the gold coin club. I'm not there yet,
Me neither.
unfortunately.
Me neither.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are, and we just yeah. So I'm not there yet. So I'd love to find a sovereign. A lot of guys find gold sovereigns where we are. I'm not one of them. And you'll find it's always the noobs, that go out and
Yeah.
pick up a gold coin on their second hand. Yeah, it blows my mind as well. But yeah, I think that would top the list. If I could do this or find a gold coin this year, that would be great.
It would be great any year. It would be great.
Yeah, anytime of any year, you're right.
It's been great, Leon. Just before our last question, just thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And just to finish up with, and we ask all our guests this question is, what do you wish you knew before you started metal detecting as a hobby?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I wish I didn't have the delusion of grandeur that I think a lot of noobs have when they start to think about metal detecting and buying a metal detector. And so that's the one thing, knowing that out of the 100 holes, I might find 2 or 3 items that was worth my day. Out of the hours of digging. And I think secondly is having. I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing. I think if I knew what type of money I should have spent on type of machines, making just better choices instead of going with my budget and spending, a large amount on a entry level detector instead of just waiting a while and spending that little bit more on something that would have lasted me, a lot longer. Instead of going through 3 or 4 machines, have bought the right machine from the beginning. But I guess that's something that you have to go through,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Perfect. And on that note, thank you very much, Leon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. It was really nice chatting to you. Appreciate it.
Okay, I hope you liked this episode of the Metal Detecting Show podcast. I know I had a great time talking to Leon. If you like this content and would like more, please don't hesitate to tell your friends and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you feel like taking your appreciation to the next level, feel free to leave me a positive review on any podcast directory of your choice. Check out our website, www.themetaldetectingshow.com, for this episode's show notes. Check out our Patreon page if you want to help the podcast stay alive or just want to buy me a coffee. Just search for The Metal Detecting Show. The link will be in the show notes. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We will chat to you all again next week. Get out there, eyes down, and happy hunting.